Why does everybody have a fucking Gatorade but me?
You were not, you didn't want to get a Gatorade. So guess what? We start the Matt Chat podcast. We got Gatorades.
I got nothing.
You don't got nothing. Paul Ciatto, Big Sexy, a.k.a. Buff Daddy. Frank Ciatto, Cuzzy Frank. Frank Grizzly.
Burgermeister,
Meisterburger, Double XL Voyeur, Christopher Shay, the Red Man, the Heat Miser, a.k.a. Blue Eyes, a.k.a. Platinum Blonde, a.k.a. Hellboy. And we'll leave it at that.
AKA no Gatorade.
What's the Tom Cruise movie again?
AKA
Eyes Wide Shut.
Eyes Wide Shut.
AKA Kenny Rogers. Thanks a lot, Murph.
Peter Oberg, producer extraordinaire. Leroy.
And
once again.
Leroy.
This is Leroy's last episode.
Leroy's last episode. Then he's moving on.
Great job, Leroy. Thank you very much. If you want to come out here and take a bow, you can.
I like the golf
Maybe,
clap.
maybe his father will come and moon you guys.
Well, that was good before.
Yeah,
I
it
wish
was.
we had that.
Let me take something to drink, too.
So it's funny that we're drinking some Gatorade, right?
I know.
And it kind of goes right into something we were just talking about. We've been preparing for a few days about this.
And that's leaving friends out.
Do it for self, motherfucker. So, as you guys know, I'm going to speak about myself for a second. So enough about me. Let's get back to me.
That's right.
But on a serious note, everyone here is kind of, at least here at the table, is kind of involved in what I'm talking about in their own way, shape, and form. And I do a lot of mentoring and a lot of coaching with a lot of the young guys in the area, and helping them to understand just exactly what it takes to be successful.
Get to the next level.
Get to the next level. And a lot of it, again, I want to preface this, man. I'm a sportsman, and I want everyone to succeed in everything they do. But in the overall picture, for me, it's about life. I personally don't give a shit about how many touchdowns you score. I want to know how many touchdowns you're going to score for the rest of your life. I mean, that's what it comes down to. But when hey, seriously.
That's what it's about.
That's what it's about. And I got to be honest with you that when you use these activities as conduits, these are proving grounds. These are the things that will show you what your merit is, who you are as a person, as a man, as a woman, whatever the case may be. It shows you your
What about
guts.
as a he, she?
Never.
Okay.
It shows you what your guts are. Your intestinal fortitude, that type of
It's
stuff.
a building block for the rest of your life.
And the thing is this, though, it just doesn't happen overnight. And specifically, I'm handed certain situations and individuals, and it's okay. Help. Fix this. These are the problems, whether it's behavioral problems, talking back to a coach, not eating properly, not training properly, not doing the things you need to do. And before I extrapolate more on this, and you guys jump in, please, is that it might be it might be a team, or it might be a sport you play, or it might be these type of things that we're using. But if you can't do this for something you allegedly love, if you can't do what it takes to be successful on a football field, a basketball court, a wrestling match,
Something that you've committed to and something that you really want to do, then you're sure as shit not going to do it when the fucking going gets tough.
right? And on top of that, the greater message here with that is that the greatest problem in these type of situations are that, like the old saying, it takes a village to raise a child, right? It's like that in
You
the
need support.
house. If you're all not on the same page in your house for the success of that child, student athlete, person, if you're not on the same page and willing to all do what's necessary to get that person there, you're going to fail. Okay? And guess what? It's not comfortable.
Well, it takes a special individual to be able to do it by themselves. Tell you that.
Correct.
And here's my other thing, too. Don't get you involved. Don't ask for your help if they're not going to be there to support you either. And more than likely, what I find happen is they sabotage the kid.
Oh,
Are you experiencing this
Oh, I've
now?
experienced
Dude,
it.
it happens in my household sometime
Yeah.
with my sons.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of the times, here's what I find. You want to know what and this is all on a serious note. When I interact, and I work with a lot of athletes, right? A lot of collegiate athletes, okay? When they're strangers, they become family, like quicker than people I've known for 20 years. That's the crazy part. So, if you know me for 20 years, you know how I do shit. My shit works.
How do you do shit?
Listen, there's a difference between.
Method to the madness.
Well, there's a
right?
method to madness, exactly. But here's the greatest key to this success. Okay. You have motivation and you have discipline. Motivation's fleeting. Discipline never dies. If you don't understand what discipline is, and you don't understand what it takes to be disciplined, or teach yourself to be disciplined, and understand what the fruits of being disciplined can be, you're never going to get it. And it means nothing else matters. Nothing. If you're telling me, my son, my daughter needs to get to X, and I'm telling you this is what they need to do, it doesn't mean you're going to do it a couple hours a day, every other day, or if we go on vacation, it's not going to happen. It doesn't work that way.
If you go on vacation, it could happen a little
No,
bit.
it doesn't.
No, the problem
doesn't.
is
I know you're
people-
making a joke, but it doesn't.
Yeah, people want their success to be a la carte, and it's not.
It's not.
You can't choose to do this today and skip that tomorrow and do this tomorrow but not do this. Like it's a day in, day out regimented
Grind.
and and that grind becomes a discipline. But it's just like, everybody, he's always crazy until they need his help. He's always crazy until they need his help. That person's always crazy until they need that help. But then once they get that help, until they buckle down and really see the success of like, oh, this shit works, they're gonna constantly fight that uphill battle.
What kind of things are you experiencing?
Well, it's
Was
very
it
simple, like,
self-sabotage? Is it laziness?
It's self-sabotage. Well, here's the thing.
Is it people
When
are
you-
delusional?
Yes, all those things are correct. But the thing is, when you're presented with an athlete per se, and you're telling me that the athlete has behavior problems, that the athlete doesn't train, that the athlete answers back to the coaches, that the athlete is X, Y, and Z, and to be quite frank, that's your problem. As a parent, you're failing. Because if that was my kid, I would have cracked his fucking head open and it would never happen again. I'm being serious though. It would have happened. It would have happened. None of that list of things. Only one would have happened. It wouldn't have been.
It doesn't get to C, D,
Yeah,
and E.
it gets to A and then it's fixed. Okay, that's the difference. So it comes back to you do these things, and I'm like, all right. Well, the other part of it is you're failing as a parent. You haven't parented the kid, and 9 times out of 10, you're patting the kid on the back, telling them there's something they're not. Okay? Because like I always say, and I want to coin a phrase of my good friend, Coach Rossini, who's a friend of the show, what's your resume? Tell me what your resume is. And I tell parents, what is your child's resume? They don't have one. I can give you kids, youth, middle school, high school, college kids who have resumes. You don't have a resume. But you're too busy patting this kid on the back because they can do X, Y, and Z. Well, guess what? I don't see an all-conference ring. I don't see an all whatever, this or that or the other thing. All I see is you bringing me this problem athlete. And then you want the devil to come in and do God's work. And then when I tell you what you need to do, you don't do it at home. And then you want to know what the problem is, why it's not happening. I don't care about you going on vacation. I don't care that he doesn't want to eat. Too bad. He needs to eat like he's going to the electric chair when you're 20, 30 pounds underweight. Or you need to watch your eating because you're 30 pounds overweight. Okay? Like they said, it's a 7-day-a-week grind. Just because you might not be training one day doesn't mean you're not training when you're not there. By watching what you eat, getting enough sleep, not partying, not drinking, not doing all these things. This is what happens. So then, like I've had two experiences. One, where it was my kid's soft, they need you, can you help? You got to get them bigger, you got to get them stronger, they don't have that edge, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? I go right into what I do, with my surrounding supporting cast to do it. The kid goes home, this was many years ago, the kid's going home, and the parents are, oh, it's okay, don't do that, he's being rough, he's this and that. And then what happens to me is that I get wind of this, and then I got to approach the situation.
Because you're being undermined. Let's
I'm
be
being
honest.
undermined. And then I go, and I remember this particular situation. I said, you asked me to do this, and then you're over here compromising what you asked me to do. What you're doing right now is the reason why your son or daughter isn't successful. Because you're patty caking them. You're telling them it's okay. It's not okay. So you have a problem. You don't want to fix the problem. And the minute I give you the answers to the test, you don't want to execute those answers. You make up your own answers. Listen, I'm not saying my system is the only system, but my system works. The proof's in the pudding.
That's why you're
Well,
reaching
they're
out.
not
and
really
asking me.
serious, obviously, right? Why are they getting you involved?
Well, obviously, I do something right.
No, I know,
You know?
but they're not doing their end at all, so what?
Because it goes back to what I was trying to say before. People don't get it. They've never had the capacity, the
They-
ability.
No, they
the
get it.
desire.
They get it. They
They
just
get
think
it.
that they're going to give it to you and you're the magic
No,
pill.
no,
And they don't have to do anything.
Trust me,
What
I mean, there's
people
some
see-
truth to
what
that.
people see-
There's some truth to that.
What
Yeah, it
people,
is.
what
You're like,
people-
oh, Paul's going to do it, so I don't got to worry about it. Thank God it takes the stress and
what
pressure off
people
me now.
see is the success. They see the success and they go, "Oh, please bring my son there." But then, because they don't see this, they see the success, but they don't see what it takes to get there. Then they have their son involved, and they're starting to see what it takes and what
not
goes
comfortable.
into, and then they're either they. I mean, dude, look, you see your son doing things to be successful, and all of a sudden you start to question like, what the fuck am I doing?
Right.
Maybe they got an ego issue, and maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe they don't like the fact that somebody else is instilling, traditions and habits and et cetera into their kids, so they start to get fucking jealous. Or they can't handle it, so then they start to shy against it. But you can't reach out to me and say, hey, I need
want
your
your
help. And then when I start to institute what I start to institute, you go, well, we're going to be a la carte. This is what we like, but this is what we don't like. Well, then that's where you as a businessman almost have to go, I'm not the right person for you.
Sure.
Because he's the one who's going to suffer because I'm giving him the tools, but you're not allowing him to use it, and we're not
But
going to
more importantly, my recipe doesn't work. If you're trying to make a cake and you don't allow me to use flour, the cake isn't going to come out.
That's right.
So the results aren't going to be what you're expecting.
Right, it can't be
And
on
that's
top.
that's going to be on me. That's not on me. It's got to. It takes a village to
raise a child.
To raise a child. Takes a village to make a cake. Exactly.
But to his point, and you guys are 1,000% right. And the thing is, I will not compromise my integrity or my system, because what happens is, he was trained by, he's trained by him and his group, and we didn't get anything out of it. Yeah, because you didn't do what you were told. This is a dictatorship. It's not a democracy. You don't have a say in the matter. If you had a say in the matter, go someplace else, or you wouldn't be coming to me.
Or you'd be doing it yourself.
Doing it yourself.
Exactly.
And listen, it's as simple as this. The last week I had one of my guys was on vacation, and I was like, I want videos of the weigh-ins, I want videos of the training. And you better pack a scale, and I want the weigh-ins and underwear. Weigh-ins and clothes mean nothing to me. They don't count. Don't send them to me.
And
Whatever.
it's also not consistent. You don't know what you're getting. You don't know how much the clothes they're wearing, what the weight
It's
is.
just, you're not doing it. You got to be, period. That's that. Don't even waste energy describing that, because if you're not in your fucking underwear, it doesn't count. And you want me to be honest with you, take all your clothes off. I'm being serious. Be in your birthday suit and weigh in. Then I know what your weight is. In the morning, when that's your true weight. When you haven't eaten all day and you haven't been able to, you're eating foods that can make your whole water. I want to see in the morning, when you've gone through catabolism, I want to see exactly what it is you weigh. When you're at your lightest. That's your true body weight. So what happens? Oh, and the program was given. You're going to train Monday, Tuesday off, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I want all these things. I want it executed, blah, blah, blah. What happens? Day one, I get to day one. I'm getting a video of being weighed in all your clothes on a triple beam scale that's probably not accurate. So guess what? Don't mean nothing to me. Right? Right? Then I get a video, the same day, videos of everything that was not on the program that was given to you. I don't give a shit about that. You think that impresses me? I could care less about that. That person should be doing that. But that's not what I wrote for you. And I also told you to pack a scale. All right? I don't want to hear it's a public scale. Whose fault is that? I told you to pack a scale. It's not my first rodeo.
But you know what they'll do then?
But let me finish. And then as the week progressed, it was the same bullshit. Okay?
And I bet it got worse. I bet it even got worse.
And then one of the days didn't even train.
Of course.
And then 7 o'clock the next night, I'm like 7:26. I haven't gotten the video or wait.
This is
And-
recently?
Yes. And then it's, they wanted to go X, and I'm gonna just keep it cloak and dagger. They wanted to go X today, so got to keep happy. I'm like, I could give a shit about keeping anyone happy. That's on you.
And now that their happiness comes at the end when they fucking get their result.
That comes on you. And I went off. I'm like, you think I'm over here doing what I do on top of everyone else I'm responsible for, and you're not doing your part because you needed to go someplace that day for entertainment? You couldn't get up and do what I told you to do? Because, and it goes, another person in your family ran the show. See, in my family, and my wife might not like it all the time, because she's human, but she gets it. Period. And the results speak for themselves. The results speak for themselves with all these kids that I work with. All right? So, and then when I blasted this person, well, you still love me. I said, it's not about loving you. You're the problem. And I said this to this person. You're the problem. This is why this kid has problems. Because you're not on board. And you want me to make magic. As it is, he's well off the fucking path. He's so far behind because you wasted the last year doing tiddlywinks.
I need to ask.
Yeah.
Is this college or younger? 'Cause if you're-
Younger.
All right, because if you're in
Yeah.
college, you should be responsible for your own
Right.
motivation.
You shouldn't have to have the
I
parent,
work with
yeah.
some of the
Exactly.
most motivated young men at the collegiate level you could ever ask for.
Yeah.
I'm on them like a duck on a June bug. Period. Okay? Because when they think it's enough, it's not enough. I want more. Because in the game of life, it's always going to be more. You want nice things, you got to go get it. You want to be this, you got to go get it. It never stops. So the bottom line is, our recipe may be right, but it may not be right for you. But I can guarantee you this, my recipe is the same as somebody else's, it's just packaged differently. Okay? I'm old school, I'm no nonsense. I'm not going to baby you. I'm not going to tell you it's okay. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. But the most important message here is that the people in the home, if the mom, the dad, the brothers or sisters are not invested in the success of everyone in the house or a particular situation with one of your siblings or whatnot, if you're all not on the same page, you're never going to get there.
It's going to be sabotage.
You're sabotaged, exactly. So then you want to know why? Then you want to pontificate. Oh, I was there. I was with all those guys. No, you were not, because everything's tracked. We keep it on calendars. So guess what? When you're done and you're moving on to your respective sport, I got it. I have it all detailed. Well, here's why you didn't succeed. You didn't weigh in this day. You didn't train this day. You didn't eat enough meals this day. You didn't do all these things. I have it on record. So guess who we hold accountable? You. So the first time that you don't have success, or again, it's on you. And it goes back to the greatest crime that I see is these guys out there, these parents, you don't know shit about work. You don't know anything about what it takes to be successful at anything because you've never put yourself in those positions to do it. You've never put yourself in boiling water and tried to live there. You don't. And it's especially these people with their kids who are blessed with athletic ability. You're the worst. You're the absolute worst. Because then when they get to the next level, they fail. The attrition rate, they play a semester or they quit school. It goes on. Because they never went with habits. They didn't understand there was accountability. They didn't understand that you got to work, that you got to do X, Y, and Z.
They also don't understand there's a bunch of kids out there just like them,
Yeah,
except
man.
for they're working hard.
Heck yeah, well, they get it. And they were raised in the right environments. You know, that's why it's so important, like, you know, the district you come from, the home you come from, and the people you're around, because it means something. But then when I've got to come in and I've got to fix the fact that all those things have been lacking, and then you don't want to do what it takes, and like Frank says, I'm the crazy one?
Well, how many times have what I was trying to say before when I tried to interrupt you?
No, I'm sorry.
What? No, don't apologize. I'm interrupting you. What do
You
you?
can
How many
apologize.
times? How many times have you? They've come to you. You put an institute X, Y, Z. Then they try to pull things away and don't follow program, and then they go, well, this didn't work, and you got to go. Are you fucking kidding me?
No, because what happens is a lot of times, you know, you're dealing with people who don't have the gumption to come in and be honest. So they phase themselves out, or they pop in back and forth, and then, you know, I will say this: the majority, and I haven't had a lot of them, thank God. It's most of the people that come to us, they know what they're getting, and the results.
And
are
they
there.
want it.
They want it.
Yeah.
But I said that the anomaly is it's people I know the longest, and I see the issues. I've seen them for years. I'm like, oh man, this is going to be tough because I know they're not raising this kid the way he should be raised. You know, that's the problem. That's why you're having these problems for success, and you're like, wow, man, they're going to get culture shock with me and everyone else here because we're not playing a game. Whether it's me, the other coaches here, well, no one cares. Nobody cares about, about what you're doing. So it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, why would we care? Because what you're doing before didn't work. That's why you're here. Why you're here.
It's time to start caring.
Yeah, caring and do what you need to do and do what it takes. And I think the greater, like for example, like some of these kids, their parents played to the next level. If we're using sports as an example. You know damn well what it took. To get there and stay there. And you're not doing the same thing for your kids because you think they're special? Who the fuck said they're special? You did. When it really counts. Because as we know, high school don't mean shit.
And talk is cheap.
Yes. And the bottom line is, guess what? Who are you hurting? You're hurting your child. I'm not hurting your child. I'm giving your child tough love and things that you didn't give them. And you're coming to me because you want me to do it, as per what Chris said, because you figure, I'll take care of it. I can only do so much. If you're not invested in what I'm doing and you're not invested in your home to the success of that child, then that child will not get to where you want them to be.
Why do you think people are afraid of being the bad guy? Like, I love being
Because
the
people
Because
like
it's a
these-
kinder,
I love
gentler
being the
fucking
bad guy.
society right
Listen,
now. That's why.
Some of these guys too, like they're very successful guys, and like I've even complained or called out, whatever, about being Switzerland and how that doesn't work and how you didn't get to where you are in life. Being Switzerland doesn't work that way.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, man, it's the truth. Listen, it just listen, and people on the outside can look in and see whatever they want to see. All right, I know for a fact that the red man, and I say this in a loving way and not in a term, but I'm going to use a word because it gives it the best. He tortured those kids to get where they are in wrestling. Tortured them. Tortured them in the sense, this is what you're going to do.
Right.
You have talent, and we're going to develop it. Okay? Period. End of story. Okay? If he didn't do that, would they be there? Regardless of their talent. Hell no. They wouldn't understand what it takes.
Well, that's like that movie Whiplash. You ever see that movie?
I never
Whiplash?
saw it.
It's about a drumming teacher who's very difficult on this student, and he explains like there was this old like jazz player, and he went to play saxophone, and he got booed off stage, and he's like he could have went home and just packed his fucking bags and never
Sure.
played saxophone again, but instead he took that. And went and trained with like some of the best coaches, and the coach was super hard on him, and he became one of the best saxophone players ever.
Right.
He's like, I helped you become a better drummer. If you don't have somebody who's on top of you that's riding your ass, pushing you to make you better, because a lot of times they'll say like, look, they want you to be weak, man. I get that's your mom, I get that you whatever, but they're allowing you to be okay with mediocrity.
They want something, but aren't willing to do what it takes. And the funny part is the majority of those people.
And they're not even willing to take the responsibility
they
either
have
for
all
it.
the resources in the world, and they're living off the laurels of those resources, whether it's old money, I don't know. But the case is, what about your legacy? What is it you're trying to do? What is it you want greatness, but you're not willing to do what it takes to be great? Okay, it's not about being a pro athlete. It's about life. You got to raise a family. You got to pay bills someday. You got to have a quality of life. If you can't take the pressure to try and excel at it, it's like I always say. You got kids out there, guys out there, girls out there, that you didn't love a sport enough to keep yourself in college. That's a shame. Not everyone's going to be the valedictorian, but you couldn't love, your love for the sport wasn't enough to say, I'm going to keep myself academically eligible and get C's. Not that C's are okay with me, but C's get degrees. So you left there after 4 years with a degree, and in football, baseball, basketball, whatever, gave you the conduit to get that degree. Oh my Lord!
Thank God.
That's the biggest win in your life. Yep. But when you had it easy in football, you had it easy in baseball, you had it easy in lacrosse, whatever it is, and then you get to the next level and be like, oh shit. What do you mean? I actually got to go to the weight room? Oh, you mean I actually got to have good grades? Oh, you mean I actually have to play all year round? Oh, you mean there's a spring season even though my sport's a small sport? Oh, and you mean the NCAA means I have to... Of course.
Oh, you mean there's accountability?
Yeah, but listen, one does not go with the other. Okay? It's work habits. It goes back to what I said, it's discipline. Forget about motivation. You've got to be disciplined to do what it takes even when you don't want to. Even when it's uncomfortable, even when you feel like shit. You got to do it. Okay? And you can look at me as the crazy one, but I'm crazy right. And my life speaks for itself, and everyone around me, their lives speak for themselves. And it's not me patting myself on the back. It's the truth. I failed 1,000 times in my life. I'm going to fail more. But what defines you is how you get up and change it and move forward. That's how more success happens. Okay? But if you're not willing to do it, it's like we talked about, before. If you're a lazy fat fuck, your kids are going to be lazy fat fucks. I put a post up the other day on my Facebook page. They are what they see. If you're out drinking pops, partying, acting the fool, your kids will become those fools. Period. If all your kid sees is you drinking a pop all the time, every fucking night of the week, okay, you don't exercise, you don't do anything, you don't push them, there's no accountability, or they get pinched for smoking weed and that's okay, because we did it. You're a loser. And that's why they failed. We didn't do it. I didn't do that shit. And I can tell you the guys that did do it around me, it was a one and done situation that didn't envelop their lives. And their fucking parents were on a parade of a good time Charlie every friggin' day of the week. And then you want to know why they're not getting, behavior problems. They don't want to train. There's no culture. There's no culture in your home. There's no culture in your life. You live for the weekends, as they say. Guess what? My life's a weekend every day, no matter how hard I work. Okay? It's the ability to change people's lives, motivate people, and do what's right. That's what it's about. So do me a favor. If you're not willing to do what I ask you to do, don't bother me. Find someone else to do it.
Because you're going to take it seriously. Yeah.
It's like my own
They
child.
need to also.
It's like my own son. I'm going to give that child the same effort I'm giving my own son. Because as a man, I will not compromise how I do things for anybody. Because my system works. End of story. End of story. Anything else? You guys want to add to that?
Just wrap it up. That if you want to get somewhere and be successful, it requires a group effort. You're not willing to put in the time, you're not willing to put in the effort, and you don't have a support system surrounding you, more than likely you're not going to finish
It's
complete
very
your
true.
goal.
But just because we have to wrap up, and it's the last episode, Leroy, any feelings on this? Because you're of a different generation.
I got to be honest. This should have been. I was actually thinking about you.
gotta
This
do
should be
like-
motivating
wait a minute,
towards
say
you.
something.
Fucking weak, Leroy.
That says it all.
And there you have
And there
it.
you have it. But on a serious note, Leroy, you're getting one of these. You should have said a couple things. But at the end of the day, again, discipline overcomes motivation. Okay, embrace the suck. Stop patting your kids in the back and making them think they're something they're not. Okay? Be honest.
Give them uncomfortable situations.
Yes.
Uncomfortable situations creates character, and that's what you need.
Coals become diamond. Coal becomes diamonds because of pressure.
Yeah.
Period. And if you're not willing to put the pressure on all the time, 24/7, guess what? That's life. Life is not sunshine and rainbows. You make your sunshine and rainbows by taking life by the balls.
In the words of an ex-girlfriend's mother, stop being a little bitch.
That wraps it up. Paul Ciatto, Frank Ciatto, Christopher Shay, Peter Olberg, Leroy's farewell episode, Match Hat Podcast. Do it.
Bye.